様、ようこそ伊勢へお越しくださいました。私たちはおかげ横丁の神音太鼓と申します。今ここにあることを神様に感謝する神音感謝という言葉を太鼓の音で表現しようと日々努めております。ただいまより1曲目にカムイ、2曲目に裏雲と続けて演奏いたしますので、どうぞ最後までお付き合いくださいませ。
Hey guys, what is up? I had to share that moment with you. I didn't plan to do this. I'm gonna find somewhere where I'm not in the way. This is Okage Yokocho in Ise Mie Prefecture. Alright, let's flip it back around. I think I've collected myself. So, it's so cool to see that the guy here on the big drum. You saw the guy with the big drum, and I'm sorry if the sound isn't great. I haven't got any microphone or something. But that dude on the massive drum at the back, he was here when I was here about 10 years ago, the same guy. And this dude is a legend. During the summer, and summer's just kicked off and it's really hot, and these guys are working crazy hard to play these drums. And during the summer, that guy actually rips off his clothing, the top, and this guy's ripped, and he's just sweating. These guys just are like smashing this drum. But Ise is a big part of the start of my Japan journey, and I lived here for maybe 3 years. I got to see so many things, and it's such a special place. Not just for my life, but in general. Ise Jingu, the shrine here, Okage Yokocho. This is the most sacred shrine in all of Japan. The most sacred shrine, Ise Jingu. It's not arguable, it's not questionable. This is the most sacred spot in all of Japan. It's a power spot. I put a video out yesterday showing what is a power spot. And a power spot is a spiritual energy place. Whether you believe it or not, it's something part of Shintoism, where the gods reside in nature, and it's believed that the gods are very powerful here. Nature is powerful here. It's a great place to recharge. But I have so much history here. I think this is really where I fell in love with Japan, and even today it's such a special hub for Japanese people and tourists. And I'm going to do a walk around in a minute and show you what it looks like here. But I don't have tears. I actually have tears, but they're not tears of joy. They're not tears of pain or sadness. It's tears of pure joy and nostalgic memories. It's crazy to think after 10 years of not living here, the Taiko still moves me as much as the first time I saw it. And that time, the Taiko really excites me. I wouldn't say like I go and do Taiko in my free time, but when I see it, I'll stop and listen to it, and it's incredible. Ise Jingu, Okage Yokocho, Mie, it's really an undiscovered part, and it's not promoted enough for what it is. I know that a lot of people get tired of seeing temples and shrines when they visit Japan, but if you're going to visit any temple and shrine in Japan, screw Kyoto. Don't bother with Kyoto. Come here, really. I'm going to show you around here. I've got mixed feelings about showing this place in some ways, because it is a very, very Japanese domestic tourism spot. And let's have a look around. Most people you'll see will be traveling from Japan to here. Let's have a walk around Okage Yokocho. I won't speak too much out of politeness, but I'm going to point out something really special just around the corner here. Hey Coco, I cannot see. If I take my shades off, I got very sensitive eyes. I'm sorry. This is what I can offer. This, I don't wear sunglasses because it's cool. I wear it because I have to. This here is akafuku, wagashi, in Ise in Okage Yokocho. And this could be potentially one of the most famous and arguably the most famous wagashi, Japanese sweet mochi in all of Japan, akafuku. And you can already see there's a line building up here. They offer something really special here. And I'll talk about that in a second. Let's go see what they sell. Quick left here, show you the street. Do a quick right here. Let's have a look at what akafuku has. Line is building up here. This line here is for people who want to eat in. There's a beautiful seating here. I'll go around the other side and show you what it looks like from the other side. And this guy's here for omiyage. They're doing the takeaway, probably taking something back to their family, friends, or co-workers. So this is the omiyage down here. This is the sweets that you get. This is the traditional sweet. Let's go up here to get out of the way and I'll do some talking. I'll show you the other side. Let's go up to this bridge. Okay, everyone's visiting today. All of the parking down there is full. This is a spiritual river here, and that's the view you get from Akafuku. So directly down to across to the river. How beautiful is this scene? And then there's a Japanese garden down there, so you can sit and enjoy. You eat your wagashi. And your view is right here, this scenery, this walkway along this river. And down that way is towards Naiku, Ise Jingu, the inner shrine. And everything you see in the mountains in the background there is part of the shrine. It's part of the shrine grounds. It's a very sacred, the most sacred spot in all of Japan. Unquestionably. All right, let's flip it around for a second. Yeah, so I've had this akafuku, the wagashi akafuku, many times. I just had it then. I've actually got one here to take away. So I just had it, sat down and enjoyed that before I went to the Taiko. Something really special about akafuku is they have this thing called Tsuitachi mochi. Tsuitachi is like day one, the first day of the month. Tsuitachi mochi. So the first day of the month, wagashi, Japanese sweet. Every month for the 12 months of the year on Tsuitachi mochi, so June 1st, July 1st, they do a special mochi. They do a one-off sold on one day. And it's seasonal. So I think April, it would be sakura inspired. The flavor and the design would be something like a cherry blossom. That when that happens, you have to arrive here at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's nuts. And then the line will start, so that's the building there, and the line will go across this bridge here that I'm standing on and down towards the parking area here. The line will be down here for Tsui Tachimochi, and you have to arrive here at 4 a.m. I think they open at 7 a.m. when you can start buying it. And surprisingly, they handle that. The line goes pretty quick, but it's quite a unique thing. It's insane to me. Someone commented up here, hey guys, I should read some of your comments. I am having a great time with like the taiko, the environment, the atmosphere here. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. It's hot. It's actually really getting hot now. Humidity level is high today. I'm seeing other people wearing shorts. So wagashi, if you guys don't know what wagashi is, what Japanese sweets, it's made of rice, the white part. It's made of like a sweetened rice. And then the top is a red anzu bean. It's not chocolate, it's anzu. And it's good. Chris says you're the only non-Japanese people there. Yeah, this is a Sunday, so there are a lot of Japanese tourists here. I'm not hearing any other language but Japanese today, so it's a really important spot for Japan. At nighttime, it's very different, and you can still enter the shrine grounds at night to a degree. It's free to visit this shrine. It costs nothing. It's a place of spirituality, and it's a place to recharge. If you've heard of this term power spot for Japan, you'll go there and re-energize, to reset and to balance your energy, whether you believe that or not. But that's what kind of Shintoism is about, and that balance is through being in a natural spiritual place. All right, I'm going to walk a little bit further down Okage Yokocho. My main goal here is to show you this taiko, which brings back a lot of memories for me. So let's just have a quick walk down Okage Yokocho. And like I said, I'm excited to introduce this place to people who may not make it out to Ise, because Ise Mie Prefecture, it's not really somewhere where people will go. They'll skip it. Ise and Mie, so Mie Prefecture is, if you know Tokyo, between Tokyo and Kyoto is Nagoya. It's somewhere in the middle. After Mount Fuji, Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture. And next one down is Mie. So besides Mie is Nara Prefecture, and besides Nara is Kyoto and Osaka. So it's relatively close. It's part of Kansai area. They speak Kansai Ben here, and also Mie Ben, and then Ise Ben, so a dialect. There's dialect in each area. Even close to here is another place that I'd highly recommend people to visit, a natural place, Ise Mie. It's the biggest and the first national park in Japan, Ise Mie. There's a lot of beautiful places on the water, has mountains, but the main part is more about the ocean. There's so much to do here. It's really still undiscovered, but because there's no Shinkansen line getting here, people don't visit it so much. It's definitely somewhere where people don't put on their first trip to Japan. I think most people tick off the temples over in Kyoto, and they kind of get sick of the temple stuff, which is understandable. But if you're looking to get away from Kyoto, this is a really nice spot. Let's go for a walk down Okage Yokocho. See the atmosphere on a Sunday morning. You start to see these during the summer. These are just a wind chime, as you would probably know. And there's a saying in this in Japanese. And it is, when you hear the wind chime, when the wind blows and you hear the wind chime, you should feel cooler. These wind chimes are a natural way to feel cooler in Japan. So you don't use air conditioning, and obviously people still do, but the idea is behind a tradition that when the wind blows, you hear the wind chime, you can hear the sound of the wind, and this sound of the wind is enough to cool you down. It's about 30 degrees Celsius right now, which isn't too hot, really. But the humidity is higher today, and we've just kind of jumped up all of a sudden to a higher temperature. Do you think that this would be enough to cool you down? This one maybe. That'd be enough to cool you down on a hot summer's day. I don't have to work right now, but I can feel the breeze coming through Okage Yokocho. You see a lot of people using the sunbrellas to try to keep them cool and to not get sunburned. Hey guys, what's up, bravo? What's up, amen? Here you buy the street food, and like these guys, you walk down the street eating. So most people think that that's not normal in Japan, and in Tokyo that wouldn't be. But here you would buy the street food and walk down the street eating. But they have places you can sit like over here and still enjoy that. But the idea about walking along and eating like these guys is that you kind of know where you're going, and you watch where you're going, you don't bother people while you're moving along. Notice everyone's walking on the left, who's going on my side, and everyone on that side everyone's walking pretty good in two directions. Some people might wonder where that comes from. Why do people walk on the left? Why do people walk on the right? Why do they even stick to one side? And a big part of it is because of the temples and the shrines. When you enter them, they give you directions on how you should be walking. So stick to the left, stick to the right, and it kind of, I think, becomes part of the norm for daily life in Japan. People will stick to just one side of the road, or the street, or the footpath, and it makes life pretty easy when you're walking along and not bumping into each other, or walking down the middle of the street. That's a big thing that I think internationals do, that I used to do probably when I moved here, or when I first visited here, would be to kind of take up space. But after you live here for a while, you start to realize you don't want to take up that much space, so you stick to one side. We're actually walking down a road here, a roadway. Even though it's a big footpath, cars can still drive down here. I'll be coming back here later. I need to get ice cream. So even in I'd say less international tourist spots in Japan, you'll still see a lot of local things for sale. So while Kyoto sometimes might feel like a tourist trap, selling a lot of things like chopsticks or what other things they have, just a range of like Japanese style stuff, kimono, they actually do that in Japanese areas too, where they use Japanese products, Japanese local resources like hinoki wood or sugi wood, cedar and cypress, to create something like chopsticks and try to sell that to visitors. They do that with things like, here is a good example. Let's look down here, where they have this mikan. And these will be local from this area. And they've made a business out of this and they'll sell this. So they've got grapefruit over there and orange. You can see that there. And they just mash that up inside. So you can drink this on your walk down Okage Yokocho, down this traditional street. Over here you have Ika. We're pretty close to the seaside here. So it's one of the things you'll see in this area will be seafood, and specifically kaki, which is oyster. Talking about kaki, the oyster, there's what's called an oyster road. Not too far from here, on the way to Ise Mie, towards near Toba. It's about 30-40 minutes from here, and they actually have what is an oyster road. And you can drive along during the later months, around October, November, I think it is. And you can stop and get all-you-can-eat oyster for like 1,500 yen, 2,000 yen, less than $15, $20. Or you can eat oyster, and it can be cooked, it can be grilled, it can be fresh. They have like a range of ways, but you sit there eating as much as you want for like an hour or two. How many could you eat? How many oysters could you eat in an hour or two? Something else you can buy here is beef, but not just any beef. You may or may not have heard about this, but you've heard of Kobe beef, the Wagyu. Everyone knows Kobe beef, but you might not know that there are a lot of different options besides Kobe Wagyu. And this one here is Matsusaka Gyu, Matsusaka Wagyu, Matsusaka beef. Close to here is Matsusaka, and you'll find lots of products for Matsusaka Wagyu. It's one of the best in Japan as well. There's also Hida beef. There's a bunch of them. It's not just Kobe. There are a lot. Usually areas try to promote one thing, and especially for the international tourists, just that one thing kind of sticks, like Kobe beef. Like Kyoto is the best place for what you're seeing right here, this kind of atmosphere. But you can find it all over Japan. It's just a promotion thing. And how we've all kind of been funneled into one spot. And that's what I'm doing here. Trying to open up that space for everyone to enjoy something a bit different. There's that Matsusaka gyu as well, on top of nigiri, the type of sushi. Let's have a look there closer. I'm doing my best to not get in the way. Let's creep across here. $1,200 for 2 pieces of Matsusaka Gyu nigiri. Would you buy that? All of these places, something else you find, something in Hawaii. I saw a few comments about Hawaii before, is kakigori, the shaved ice. Kakigori, Japan style. And as things transition to summer, menus will change. Start to see things a little bit differently. For food menu, so hot, you know it's hot when people wear shorts, like this guy. Starting to see more shorts. Also this, come back to front. I get a lot of comments as well about wearing shorts in Japan, but it's actually it's more normal than you think. People just wear it for different reasons. Longer pants. But you do find people in shorts in the summertime. It's very normal. Like the guy working behind me. It's hot. It's really hot. So you can kind of wear whatever you want respectfully. All right. I'm gonna go over to this spot. Behind me, over this side as well, there's a sumo ring. So a lot of people might visit Osaka, Tokyo, or Nagoya to go to a sumo event in Japan, if you time that with your trip, to go and see a big sumo wrestling event. But they have one here too. So if you wanted to visit a place like this, you could also link that up with timing for seeing something that's quite special in an event. There's something I actually haven't mentioned. So I'm now at Ise Jingu shrine, the most sacred shrine in Japan. I'm not going to go in, I'm not going to film. I just don't think that's too respectful to do a live there. So I'm going to stay on the outside. But I will tell you about something that's happening right now. It wasn't the topic of this video, but it's much more important than Taiko. But first I'm going to give you a quick show of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to flip it back. And I mentioned before about how people walk on the left and on the right, and how they're all walking on one direction. And let's get a bit closer and you'll see in the center of this bridge, I'm respectfully trying to speak quieter, so I'm sorry for the whispers. There we go. So in the center there is a sign saying to walk on the right side. So you're being told, at least in Japanese, that the side is the right side. Personally, I like that the sign is not in English. I think you can slow down when you're visiting and take a minute to see what other people are doing and kind of go with the flow. Personally, I don't want to see English signs around. When I first came to Japan, I didn't have any, and it was one of the best parts, not knowing what's going on. Here on the entrance to the shrine, you would bow before you go in, and every time you would see one of these torii gates, whether you're entering or exiting a spiritual space, you'll bow on the way in and you'll bow on the way out. But there are a lot of torii gates inside this shrine ground, so you'll bow at every one of them. Just quickly, so I want to tell you about this place right now. Let me set this up for a second somewhere, if possible. Squat down for a second. Yeah. So there's something happening really, really, really special right now at Ise Jingu, the most sacred shrine, right? This shrine is rebuilt every 20 years. There are 60 structures inside, including this bridge that I just showed you, and it's going to be completely replaced. Every 20 years, 2025 is now. This is the time they're doing it. It started on June 13, the ceremony. They do spiritual rituals and ceremonies to begin the reconstruction of the shrine. And it started about 1,300 years ago by Emperor Tenmu. And the emperor ordered this to happen for Shintoism to re-purify, to continue to purify the grounds and the buildings, because it's believed that the buildings will slowly lose their spiritual power. So they need to be blessed again, that the wood needs to be blessed again and used, a new blessed wood needs to be used again, so it needs to be rebuilt. But it's not just about the spiritual rebuilding, it's also about maintaining the skills to be able to build like this. So nothing uses nails, nothing uses screws. You can see here on this torii, right here where my finger is, that's a joint there, right there, to keep that in place. There are no nails or screws in this torii. And all these 60 structures inside Ise Jingu don't use any other building methodology except for what they used 1,300 years ago. And that's a big reason why they continue to rebuild every 20 years, to keep it fresh for people's knowledge. And there's actually a school here where you would go to learn how to just build for shrines. And there's a school specific to just build for this shrine, for Ise Jingu, to do it every 20 years. There are 60 buildings, so of course they're not doing this in 1 week, but the ceremonies that you can be part of and that you can see are this week. It started on the 13th and it will finish in about 7 days after that, roughly. It's more or less just this week, and then you won't be able to have any insight of that. After that, it will take about 8 years to rebuild all structures. What happens to the old structures when they take them down? Do they just burn them and throw them away? No, they do not. They repurpose the wood from Ise Jingu, and they donate that or give that to different shrines and temples around Japan. So it gets reused again. But like I said, for the sake of re-purification, to again purify the spiritual buildings and to continue to have this skill set, they do this. And the main purpose for all of this, it actually comes back to one thing, and that is to create a routine to not forget, and a routine to continue to have a spiritual connection, not just with the gods in Japan and Shintoism, but to also have a connection with people, to do something together. So it's actually a really beautiful thing, and it's happening now. So if you miss it this time, book your trip for 2045. In 20 years time, 2045 is when you'll see the event again. Isn't that incredible? This is what you'll see almost every week on a Saturday and Sunday until about 4 p.m. How busy this is here. People are coming here to visit the shrine, to do their prayers, to pay their respects to the gods here, and to do their prayers. Pretty cool spot, huh? Let's go back and look at the bridge. Even this bridge is going to be rebuilt. Yeah, Chris says it's expensive for 2 pieces. It's $13.50 AUD for 2 pieces of Wagyu. This is Wagyu. This is the beef where the cows So that Matsusaka beef back there we talked about, that's where the cows get massaged and fed alcohol and have a luxury life until we eat them. It's Wagyu beef. So 13, 15, it's a taste of the highest grade meat in Japan and arguably the world, depending on how you look at it. But one of the highest grades in the world. You'll see people touching a lot of things in these places. Trees, rocks, nature, but also straight ahead on the left here, you can see people touching this for good luck. A lot of spiritual rituals related to Shintoism. Over the back there, you see these guys all lining up to touch this. Getting their good luck fix. Getting their good fortune, maybe, not good luck, good fortune. And as they leave, they bow on the exit too. Here we go. The exit, respectful bow. The pace is slow here. It's not high speed. Japan style is a slow pace. It's part of the reason why it works so well. People never look like they're in a rush. There's less pressure in this society. It feels good. It's easy to walk around and feel comfortable here. And you can see that almost all the visitors here are Japanese. This is a very important place for everybody here. I had the privilege to live here for a few years. I taught English here at a school roughly 10 minutes from here, and I lived about 10, 15 minutes. My gym was just over here, 2 minutes away, next to the shrine, so I'd be able to come here really often and enjoy this place. I think even after 10 years, I visited here multiple times. Since I lived here, I come back here pretty frequently, every few years at least. And it hasn't changed much, actually. Over at the station at Ise Station, it's more or less exactly the same as 10 years back. And it's crazy to think, even a place like Myoko Kogen, where I live, is developing at a rapid rate. This is, like I said, one of the most important places in Japan for domestic tourism, but it hasn't developed the same way that, say, Hakuba or Myoko, Kyoto has. There's still a nice atmosphere here of real authentic and genuine old school Japan, even though it's so popular. I think what I recommend to people when they start to visit this place, and this place will get more popular, I usually try to recommend to slow down, to watch what other people do, to take your time and just try to respect everything that's going on around you. I recently went to Tateyama and I hiked at the snow walls, at the snow corridor. If you saw my video, I released it yesterday, I think it was. And it was full of, I'm going to be pretty specific, Chinese tour groups. And it's the way that it's not necessarily Chinese in general, but it's the Chinese tour groups that really destroy the atmosphere in Japan. You'll see Japanese tourist groups. So this isn't supposed to be racist at all. I'm not singling them out for any reason. I know the culture's different, things are different, but it makes a huge impact in Japan. I think most people come here for the Zen, for the peace, and I think as a tourist, you kind of want to contribute to that or not take it away. So I highly recommend people just slow down, keep their voice down, just look around and see what other people are doing and try to follow the lead. But yeah, Tateyama was insane for people shouting, people pushing in, people waving money around. I found it very uncomfortable and disrespectful, and it's really not the Japan that I want. It's really, I also got a comment on the video saying, hey Matt, stop sharing these places. And it's inevitable that these places will be discovered, and I want to see I want to see things as retained the way I like it too. So I'm not trying to get likes and follows on here. I'm trying to be a role model for how I believe, and the people in my community that I know want to see Japan develop, because it's developing at a rapid rate. But in saying all this stuff, there's a lot of things that I learned when I first started coming to Japan, which was, don't put your chopsticks in the rice, don't do this, don't do that. There's a lot of things that are kind of nitpicked, which are not that important. The more important things is just like being quiet, moving to the side, not taking up so much space. Try not to carry around 3 suitcases full of stuff that you've bought. I mean, Japan is very much about minimalism. Try to get in touch with what Japan is. Try not to overindulge in going shopping, and try to feel what else you can learn from being here. I think I'm saying this I'm not saying you're a bad person or whatever. I've done it too. But my lesson that I've learned from all of this is there's a lot of things you can take from Japan that's not physical. All right. I'm going to go down to the river. A last little walk. I'm going to show you one more thing. Hold up. So we're going to go around the back here. So everyone will be coming from this direction. But if you take one street away down here, this is the smoking area, by the way. People respectfully smoke in one spot. So that's the smoking box. If you're a smoker, that's where you'll go. In there. So just one street off of the main street, you get peace. And I don't know if you can hear that running river through here. But this is a really special river you can swim in further down. Not up here, it's sacred. But further down here, you can swim in the river. So when I lived here previously, my routine was to go to the school. The school would start at about 8:30 a.m., finish at around 4 p.m., and I'd have the rest of the day to enjoy exploring all this stuff. And at that time, with that schedule, I was able to make the most of this area driving around. In the summertime, we get late sunshine, so until about 9:30 p.m. it's light, and you can adventure and explore so much. And I made the most of it. I got to really know Mie Prefecture, Wakayama, Nara, Osaka, Shiga, and Aichi. I got to know them very, very, very well. I really over-explored there. That's where it all kind of started for me, to like hyper-explore Japan. And that stuff is all of the adventure stuff that I do, so all of the cultural things. I mean, this is how I learned all of the things that I like to teach or share, I should say, not necessarily teach, but share, is through all of that exploring that I've done from the last more than 15 years. And here we go. I'm gonna flip it around one more time. And this is the swimming spot during the summer. You swim out to that rock. Everyone's down here. Have an umbrella set up. And this river is so cool. And I'm talking about temperature. It's not cold, but it's very, very cool to chill off in a hot summer's day. I'm feeling like it now. And it's peaceful, just one street away. One street away from all that action is this, the tranquility. And along this river here, you'll see some accommodation and some restaurants with some platforms overlooking this beautiful, cool river. And that's looking back towards the shrine. There's a little restaurant cafe up there. And that's the bridge, finishing the loop, that's the bridge I first started on, where I talked about akafuku, the wagashi, Japanese sweet. That's the one. This is a river. Thanks for filling in. Minasan konnichiwa. So what do you guys think about this whole area, Ise? This is the Okage Yokocho area in Ise, close to Naiku. In Ise Jingu, there are two main parts of the shrine. This is Naiku, the inner part. The other part is called Geku, which is translated to the outer part of the shrine. And you'd visit both if you visit here. If you wanted to visit Ise, you could easily just visit the shrine, spend some time here, 1 or 2 days, and then head over to the Wedding Rocks close to here, and then towards Toba, over to Ise Shima, visit the beaches. You can meet some of the ama divers, the women who dive in Japan for shellfish, eat some oysters, drive further south down to Wakayama, visit Nachi Falls, Nachigatake, one of the highest waterfalls, the highest free-falling waterfall in Japan. Loop back to Osaka. On the way you can visit Koyasan in Wakayama. Nara is also on the way. You can visit the world's oldest wooden building in Nara. No one goes there, they just go to see the bowing deers. You can see that other things too. So it's easy to put together a really quick itinerary in such a special part of Japan. Yeah, come and check this place out. I wanted to share the taiko drums today, so I'm glad you could join me on this. This is a live, remember. Sometimes I get some comments sometimes that people tell me to edit this. This is not something I edit. This is just a live. I'm sharing a slice of life for you. So I hope you like my live. I'm going to finish here. Thanks for joining and enjoy the rest of your weekend.